Hello everyone, welcome back. This is chapter 5 of the TSR Mastermind. Very important, at the end of this lecture you will see some chart work that will be of benefit to everybody in this class. Now let's get right into this chapter, as it is a very important one. The power of 3. The most important function behind CRT. CRT was actually developed around the power of 3. The power of 3 is within every single CRT that you've ever seen on your chart. The power of 3 is the backbone of CRT, of candle range theory. There are 3 separate stages of price delivery, the first being accumulation, the second stage being manipulation, and the third stage being distribution. Accumulation can be seen as the consolidation stage. Manipulation can be seen as the Judah swing stage for all you ICT traders. And stage 3 can be seen as the expansion stage. All right, so a classic CRT has 3 candles, right? The 3 candle model, where each candle represents a new stage in price delivery. Every single candle of a CRT represents a single stage of price delivery. Hence, why power of 3 is the backbone of CRT. Now, of course, there are CRTs that occur and finish their ranges with more than 3 candlesticks. However, you will also come to understand that there is the power of 3 within every single candle. This is a deeper look into things, and we will touch base on this further down in the video. For now, all you need to understand is every single candle within the CRT is a stage in price delivery, and price action will form differently within each stage. Here, for example, we have a daily CRT on the left. This is the daily time frame, candle number 1, candle number 2, and candle number 3. Candle number 1 forms the range high and low, high and low. Candle number 2 turtle soups the range low with a close back into the range, and candle number 3 expands to the opposing end of the range, meaning to the high of candle number 1. So as you can see, thinking of the power of 3, keeping it in mind, candle number 1 is accumulation, candle number 2 is manipulation, candle number 3 is distribution. On the lower time frame, this is a 30-minute time frame. You can see candle number 1 right here depicted by these 2 gray lines, candle number 2 right here, candle number 3 right here. We have the accumulation candle, the manipulation candle, and the distribution candle. As you can see, every single candle price action will form differently. Your goal is to find the power of 3 within every single candle and trade it that way. Ultimately, you must also understand the importance of the power of 3 of the overall trend, meaning the overall CRT. Right here you can see the daily CRT low and the daily CRT high. Let's say this was Wednesday. Wednesday's price action manipulated below the low of the previous day, so Tuesday, and then closed above into the previous candle's range right here. The next candle opens, manipulates below its open, and continues on higher. What I just said there is very important for the third candle of a daily CRT. Your goal is to catch a trade below the candle's open, turtle souping a 15-minute range, and ultimately targeting the opposing end of the range. If you are looking for the power of 3 of the CRT, your goal is to enter in the third candle. The more advanced traders can be entering in the second candle. A key level would have been hit down here. Look for a lower time frame CRT. Execute a model 1 entry, which is an order block. Before we move on, you know what, let's move on. We're going to touch base on that later in the video. A deeper look into things. Within every single candle, there is a po3. This means that within every single day of the 3 candle CRT, there is a separate po3. Understanding the above statement is very important for intraday traders. Your goal is to catch the expansion / distribution of the power of 3. The more advanced students can enter during the manipulation and exit during the distribution. Newer traders should avoid executing during the manipulation event and rather enter at the beginning of the distribution event using a PD array. There will likely be a turtle soup, allowing you to catch an entry. Recognize the importance of the larger po3, the po3 controlling the CRT, and then the smaller po3s. These are within each CRT candle. So now you have 2 things on your mind. You have the larger time frame CRT. For example, we are on a daily time frame. You expect price to expand upwards. Taking a look at this example, you expect price to expand upwards with the third candle. Now within this po3, there is a separate po3 in every single candle. The power of 3 right here, as you can see, consolidation, manipulation below a 15-minute low. Underneath the open of the third candle, look for your entry model. If you want an order block long, drop time frame and execute off of an order block. Here is a deeper look at that exact example right here. This is a 30-minute time frame. As you can see in the first candlestick, the accumulation candlestick, you can see price consolidates, manipulates, and expands. In the third candle, you can see price consolidates, manipulates, and expands. In the manipulation candle, you can see a classic reversal pattern. This is where price manipulated a high into a PD array, dropped down, hitting a key level, hitting the draw of liquidity, and then reversing higher. Your goal should have been to catch a short into the CRT low and ultimately into that key level. Your goal on the accumulation day would be to catch a trade after the manipulation inside of the distribution candle. You can see a retracement into this fair value gap, entry short. Now, what do you notice here? You notice the turtle soup, range high, turtle souped. So if we use this range high and low, you can see turtle soup. After we turtle soup, we broke a low. Breaking through lows and rejecting highs. Very important. Now, your goal in this example, if you're looking at the daily CRT overall, is to find a point in time where price starts rejecting lows and breaking through highs. Where is the market structure shift? As soon as this high is broken, right here. Your goal is to find entries long. This is your highest probability entry out of every single entry that happened beforehand. This low right here that was turtle souped is lower probability than this long from this fair value gap. Why? Because structure was not broken yet on the higher time frame. Now, of course, this is still seen as a high probability entry, just not as high as this one. Why? Price has not broken structure. All right, let's move on here. Looking into the daily power of 3. Every day, every session, every single hour, you are looking for the power of 3. That should be the basis of your trade. When I am, for example, when I am looking at my 9 a.m. CR model during every single live session, I am looking for consolidation, manipulation above or below the 8 a.m. high, and distribution towards the opposing end. To spot the daily power of 3, you must drop down to a 15-minute time frame. This will help you notice the ranges that were souped and not broken through. Very important to understand here, as I was mentioning before, you want structure to, let me re-explain this. A bullish structure is when price is breaking through highs and rejecting lows. A bearish structure is when price is breaking through lows and rejecting highs. Your goal is to find where price shifts structure and starts to break through the opposing direction. If you are trading an entire daily expansion, you should put the focus, well, at least some of your focus on the Asia range high and low. This forms between 20 o'clock, 8 p.m. until midnight. This little shaded region is the Asia session, high and low. This entire shaded block represents the daily candle. We have the open and we have the close. Opening of the candle, of the daily candle right here, and the close of the daily candle right here. As you can see, price opened, dropped lower, formed the Asia range high and low, turtle souping that Asia range high, entry short, breaking through the Asia range low, not rejecting the low, instead we are breaking through the low. This confirms bearish thesis. Your goal is to enter short within this PD array right here, or if you want to use a breaker, you can, and it is right here. The open of the breaker usually will give you a near zero drawdown entry. Of course, price taps back into the Asia range, into the bearish PD array, turtle souping yet another range, and continuation of the expansion lower. I made a YouTube video not too long ago explaining how to use the Asia range. This was one of my least popular videos on YouTube. Good for you, it actually works and it functions very, very, very well. You want to see an Asia range high swept and target that opposing end of the Asia range for a near 100% probability trade. Now the continuation lower is only going to happen if we break through the low and don't reject it. And then we continue rejecting highs and breaking through lows. Looking at the 1 hour CRT, the basis of the 9 a.m. CR model. Every hour you will be able to recognize a power of 3. Some are clearer than others. Your goal is to execute the entries when price action is clear to you. Sometimes you will not be able to recognize the power of 3. For example, right here, you might be wondering where exactly is accumulation, where is manipulation, and where is distribution. In this case, you would not be entering a single trade. Why? Because you are not certain. Price action is not clear to you. Next, pick a specific hour of the day. Master that 1 hour. You have now created a literal ATM. One of your goals should be to master a specific hour of every single day. That hour for me being 9 a.m. If you can master the 9 a.m. hour, then you will have created a literal ATM. You should be on the hunt for a CRT. When the range forms, your goal is to spot the power of 3 within the CRT candle that you are executing within. What does this mean? This means once you find a CRT, whether that be on a 4-hour time frame or a 1-hour time frame, in this example, we are talking about the 1 hour. If you are going to execute the entry during the third candle of the 1 hour CRT, meaning the distribution candle of that 1 hour CRT, you must locate the power of 3 within that distribution candle and either catch the manipulation event or enter as soon as distribution commences. To get deeper, choose a candle that is usually used for manipulation or distribution in a CRT. 9 a.m. 9 a.m. is usually used as the manipulation candle. You will usually find high probability turtle soups form within the 9 a.m. hour. Here is a perfect example. We have the 9 a.m. hour right here, 9 a.m. until 10 a.m. This is the entire hourly candle. This is the entire 8 a.m. hourly candle. And this right here is the entire 10 a.m. hourly candle. CRT, right? Candle range high, candle range low, low swept, high opposing end of the range, tapped. Power of 3 would mean accumulation candle, manipulation candle, and distribution candle. Now, if you are executing a trade here, your goal would be to catch the distribution candle. The fastest and most high probability trades will come from the third candle of the CRT, hence the 10 a.m. candle right here. Price opens, forms a small range, manipulates a low, this is manipulation, and expands higher. The power of 3 here, consolidation, manipulation, expansion. Your goal is to catch the entry right here that taps into a PD array, rejecting a low, breaking through highs. Very, very important. Now let's take a look at the accumulation candle. Price consolidates, manipulates a 15-minute high, breaks through the low. This confirms bearish price action. What does that mean? That means that when price retraced into this fair value gap, you would not be looking for longs. You would be looking at shorts. Why are you looking at shorts? Because price broke through the low and did not reject the low. Which low? The low that broke the high. The low that rejected the high. In this scenario, the low that rejected the high is right here. We broke through it. We then broke through another low. We then rejected highs into the fair value gap, broke through a low. Rejected, broke through a low. Now, price continues to consolidate here. We have consolidation, manipulation, expansion. We now have consolidation, manipulation above a high, 15-minute high. We are still bearish. We want the low of this 8 a.m. CRT to be purged. Range low hit into a key level. And then, of course, if you want to catch the entry of the power of 3 of the actual 1 hour CRT here, your entry for manipulation would have occurred down here. Close above this candle, change in state of delivery, breaking through this high right here, entry long. Now we're going to take a look at a chart example quickly before coming to an end here. On the daily time frame, I'm going to just drop back time frames. All right. Hopping down to a 15-minute time frame here. You can clearly see a turtle soup. Now, how do we catch this turtle soup? That's the real question. And how does the power of 3 play into this turtle soup? Well, this right here is an entire day. 8 p.m. to 8 p.m. on a Thursday. Price for the week was trending higher. We know that Thursdays will either create a high or low of the week. It has a high probability, so it is not for certain. However, there is a high probability that Thursday will create the high or low of the week. So if we are trending up, that means Thursday has a high chance of creating the high of the week. All right, so keeping that in mind, we want to look for shorts inside of a bearish PD array. And of course, after hitting a key level, we have the opening price drops. Asia session starts at 8 p.m., ends at midnight. We draw out the high and low. Price then moves above the Asia session. Right, this is the high and low. Price moves above the Asia session. We are now extremely bearish into what some of you guys may have seen, a 4-hour CRT. CRT high and low, purged with this candle, distribution with the next. Dropping back down to the 15-minute time frame. You can see the Asia session was turtle souped, as well as the 4-hour CRT high. This is a model in itself. A 4-hour CRT turtle souped as well as the Asia range high or low. In this scenario, it is the high that is purged with the 4-hour CRT into a key level on the left side here. Ultimately expanding lower towards the 4-hour CRT low and the lower draw on liquidity. Where is the power of 3? Price will open, consolidate, accumulate, manipulate. Manipulate what? The Asia session and the 4-hour CRT, and then distribute lower. As you can see, price broke the low that rejected a high. Now, if we're using the Asia session for this, price broke the low of the Asia session after rejecting the high. That means we are bearish and bearishness will continue. This right here could have been another entry to get short. However, looking at 9 a.m. here, you can see price rejected the highs during the 9 a.m. hour. This was actually 9:30. And you could have entered within the next candle, tapping into an order block. Very straightforward. it does not get any clearer than this. A power of 3 will never get any clearer than accumulation, manipulation, distribution, exactly like you see here in a classic sell candle. Right? We are above the candles open. You look for your entry model to get short. Now, of course, you can find lower time frame CRTs within this setup, within this profile. That is your job to do. Okay? Let me leave you off with a little tip here. Because in fact, with every single chapter that I have already released to you guys, you now have access to enough knowledge in order to create your own model. That should be your goal. Of course, if you do not want to create your own model and you want to use a model that already exists, so be it. That is perfectly fine. However, everything that I've released is more than enough to turn you profitable. The next chapters will probably be trade breakdowns. So before we get into the next chapters, I want to leave you off with some tips here. At the beginning of every single week, you want to anticipate the next weekly candle. Where is it going to expand to? Right? You want to catch the distribution of the power of 3 within the weekly candle. This means you will want to know where the weekly candle will expand to. Try to anticipate the weekly profile that will play out. Now, if PD arrays are hit on certain days of the week, if higher time frame PD arrays are hit on specific days of the week, something will happen. There are different profiles for every single day, and there are different profiles for when the high is created on Monday, let's say, compared to when the high is created on Wednesday. I will leave you with that. And we will talk on Monday. Monday we will have a live trading session. I will try to actually live trade every single day this week. Maybe have one day off, not sure yet. But I will try to be there almost every single day. With that being said, have a nice one and study hard. Thank you.